Oh, man, I'm telling you, though, that wind, I mean, windstorm came just the other day. Boom, blew the house that I lived in away. I'm having so much trouble, I'm about to lose my mind. Willie Dixon? George Thorogood did it. I know that. Man, no, I'm telling you. We were talking about it. It's like, what a difference. A week. No. No, not a week. What a difference. Less than a week. Actually, what a difference. 5 days, to be exact. What a difference 5 days makes. I mean, come on. 5 days ago, in Great Falls, Montana, it set a record low on Wednesday. This past Wednesday, it was 29 degrees below zero. We had snow piled up. I was talking about it last week. We had snow piled up every week. Last week, we had from my driveway to the sidewalk in between. It's like there's like six foot piles there. And now, what is it out right now? 48, 49 degrees. That's a temperature swing of, I was told there would be no math this morning, Andy. That was a swing of 78 degrees. Holy shnikes. Seriously, I see the red light now is on. It's on. It's like, Roxanne, you don't have to put on that red light. Roxanne, put on the red light. Man, I got you figured out now. Once I just get situated and you just start rolling. No matter what I'm doing, I could be picking my nose and you'd be rolling the camera. That'll look good, wouldn't it? Gotta start somewhere, right? All right. Let's go. Before we get any further, remember to like or give me the thumbs up right here. That before you go, before you leave the page, give me a thumbs up, okay? And remember, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button right over here. Subscribe to my channel so that you are notified of podcasts, entertainment videos, chances to win. Fabulous. Have our prizes been upgraded to fabulous yet? No. They are still mediocre. So for a chance to win some mediocre prizes, at best, just remember to subscribe to this channel. And remember, this podcast, where's my prop? Where is it? Where's yesterday's Sunday? Where's yesterday's Great Falls Gazette? There it is, right here. Right on cue there, buddy. Thanks, Andy. Remember, this podcast is brought to you in part by each and every Monday, isn't it, Andy? It's brought to you in part by every Monday morning at 8 o'clock. Our good friends and neighbors at the Great Falls Gazette. Really takes the place of that other newspaper that wasn't really local, you know. Yeah, we're a local newspaper. Well, all your staff and writers are in Chicago. Chicago, that wonderful town. Where am I going with this? I have no idea. I was saying that we used to have a paper that wasn't really locally owned. And now, with the Great Falls Gazette, we do. It's locally owned. It's family or operated. It's locally operated, subscribed. The writers are all their family. Yeah, they're out the door, down the hall. Take one staircase down, and it's 3 doors down. Yeah, it's a great deal all around. They're growing leaps and bounds. So, I'm sure they could use some delivery help, I hear. You know, any growing business could use some help. Give them a call. Me, what am I going to do about the Great Falls Tribune? Or Great Falls Gazette? Well, I'll tell you what, man. I'm going to buy 5 copies for my mother, yeah. Gonna see my smiling face on the cover of the Rolling Stone. Yeah, I called it the other paper, and I just called it the Rolling Stone. You know why? Because they're not putting me on the picture on the cover of it anyway. Now, we'll probably make the cover of the darn, America's Most Wanted. It's on the back. No, it's not on the back, actually. You told me it's on second to the back page. Isn't that Marie? Isn't that your girlfriend down there, Andy? Right there on the Crime Stoppers, America's Most Wanted. Seriously, though, get your copy of the Gazette. All your great newspapers are sold. Yes, sir. We're not going to get our cover on, face on anybody. We're not going to be on Crime Stoppers. We're not going to be on... No. No. Yeah, no. Yeah, Crime Stoppers. Yeah. Going to take a bite out of crime. Remember that? Who was that? That was McGruff, the crime dog. I'm going to take a bite out of crime. Whatever happened to McGruff? Hey, you guys at the Gazette, why don't you do McGruff? Do some McGruff. Yeah. I see a commercial now where he's biting the crime out of foreign counterfeit projects or phones and all that. So, got all that out of the way. Good morning on a warm, windy Monday, February 29th. Like I said, it was 29 below zero just last Wednesday, and it's now 49. It's supposed to be 49. What do we have all week? 50s. We might be in the 60s. It'll be 58, 59. We might be in the 60s by next Monday's podcast. So it's 49 now. I mean, come on. Supposed to be in the 50s, like I said, all week. 60s by next week, by gosh. I'm not going to jinx anything like I did a few weeks ago and say, whatever. But I think it's relatively safe to say we're not going to see negative 29 again this March. Won't it be March 3rd next? By the time we're on next, St. Patrick's Day will be out of right around the corner. Yeah. I'll play us an old Irish jig there pretty soon. I think that we're safe weather-wise. I mean, however, Andy, it could be whoever's running the simulation might decide it could be 20, 30 below here in a week or so. You know? Yeah, and whoever's running it, it might be time to mess with us. I certainly did say simulation. You know, we were talking about it all morning before the show, and we were like, it's like the what I was comparing to what were we? Well, but first of all, we were going off on the Matrix tangent, you know, and you know it is like that. It's certainly like that. Oh yeah, it's like the 1999. Is it 1999 Matrix film when Thomas Anderson? Who's that? That's Neo. Okay. When Neo discovered the truth to end all truths, basically, that, you know, the universe is a computer simulation and reality is created by more advanced and probably post-human beings, aliens. Who is controlling us? We're living in the Matrix. Yeah. Old Neo. Yeah. Living in the Matrix. Then, Nick, what's his name? Nick Bostrom, and of course our friend Elon Musk, okay, both have argued that if advanced civilizations can create simulations, it's likely that maybe we're living in one. Heck, we've been playing, as consumers, people have been playing simulations. I know I have been playing simulations for years. Okay? And this is, remember, Windows XP, okay? Okay, the Windows XP, and as soon as Windows XP came out, you know, we could go online. It was like a really cool operating system, had good RAM, and all of a sudden, SimCity, The Sims, Sid Meier's Civilization, Age of Empires. What else are there? There was Caesar 3. You know where I'm going with this. They're all simulations that mimic real life, you know. In civilization, it starts Civilization 1. I like 3. You started with one person, okay, and that was like your settler. That's it. You had a whole map, okay, and how many civilizations are there now? Can you look that up for me and throw that up? You have one person and there's 7. So I would play, during the XP days, you were probably playing a lot of 3. 2 and 3, yeah, 3 came out, Gold Edition, the expanding borders, you know, and the game is a person playing, controlled, or a computer. And you can literally populate the Earth as a simulation. It's a heck of a game, addictive as hell. But basically, you go into settings, right? We go into settings. How many civilizations? Well, I'll start as the who I'd like to play the Scottish and the Irish over in the British Isles. First thing I do is conquer England, and then I build up an army and sweep down into Europe and take France and Germany, and that's how I'd play. If I wanted to play for big expansion, I'd go somewhere on the map where I'd be left alone, like, North America. Okay? And you set the computer, and then the computer controls, how many opponents, and then you could, how long? Well, if you're playing all day, I used to play all night long, every night, probably a week. Conquer the world, that was the name of the game. You could either conquer the world or you blow it into space. So basically, they're civilization games for humans to play. Okay? We started doing it before AI, even though they had a built-in AI. It's not like it is now. They were smart computers. It just cheated. That's how it wasn't smart, they just cheated. So, what if, I'm playing all these different SimCity simulation games, what if smarter than us people, civilization, that is smarter than us, built a game and we're living in it, okay? It started way back when with just a settler to way back where? Where? Okay, where's, the first and then ding, 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 and all of a sudden, boom! You can play as the Europeans, put the computer on and then come over here and take, the sim games and the civilization games have everything that we have right now in it, built into all the simulation games that we have, that we've developed so far, have, climate, governments, religions, different cultures. Heck, if you don't do a good job, your citizens riot, revolt. You have forms of government that suits what you're doing in the game. Religion to calm people down and control the masses. Okay, build temples, cathedrals. We're talking Windows XP games. And look how AI, artificial intelligence, is booming and almost taking over. There's posts on Facebook that you can't even tell. Well, you can tell, but people are like, look, it's real. It's not real. It's AI generated. It's just not that far-fetched, Andy, is it? That we are some kids' science experiment, simulation game, science project on his AI computer software program. I mentioned Nick Bostrom earlier, and he wrote a paper in 2003 at the University of Oxford. That's pretty impressive. I'm from the University from Oxford. Doesn't that sound pretty official? Come on. It's Nick from the University of Oxford. Basically, he said, his paper basically summed it that there's a 50-50 chance that we are living in a simulation. And the evidence, he claims, is everywhere. Okay? All right. How about, wait a minute. Evidence. How is there evidence that we're living in a simulation? That's what you're asking. That's what I'm trying to say, that we're in a science project on some kid's AI computer, and that's where we're at. Press Control-Alt to delete. No! How about the Mandela Effect? Nelson Mandela The Mandela Effect, well documented. Look it up. It's Google it. Thousands. No. Millions of people claim to remember TV coverage of Nelson Mandela's death in the 1980s. Even though he actually supposedly died in 2013. So what's that? A glitch in the programming? Our programmer screwed up the computer? Pete, what the hell's that? Okay. How about the Bernstein Bears books? That misspelling. That's a common one. Look that up. To Google that one. Millions of people. Well, it's spelled this way and now it's spelled that way. Okay. How about this one? Was really interesting. I didn't really believe this when we found it, but thousands of people have claimed to recall a non-existent 1990s movie called Shazam's SHAZAAM, starring the comedian Sinbad as a genie. People watched it, and I Googled it. It's like, no, it's not. There's this, but that's not that. Huh. We've spent how much, Andy? We've spent billions sending probes through outer space, going where no man has gone before. Probably should have found some evidence of the extraterrestrials by now, right? Maybe, just maybe, that the computer, that kid's computer that we're on, he's only got enough RAM to simulate one planetary civilization at a time. It's just like civilization. Yeah, I can't go from civilization and start populating other planets, and there's aliens in the game, and there's just room for the game. We just started the game. Right. Yeah, it's just we're just still the game. In 2017, checking the time here, 2017, we got researchers and scientists at the University of Washington. Is that the University of Washington Huskies? The same Washington Huskies that the Michigan Wolverines beat in the national championship 2 years ago? It is. Okay, well, there you go. There you go. There's their credibility. Anyway, researchers and scientists at the University of Washington. And granted, it's not no University of Oxford, like Nick, at the University of Oxford. But still, they did something pretty weird. Okay? Pretty, what's the word? Science fiction. They proved that they could embed computer code into physical strands of DNA. Okay? Inadvertently, what is the computer code? What? Computer code, physical strands of DNA. What did they inadvertently reveal that we have perceived as biological reality is in fact just computer code? I mean, really? Okay? Is it that far-fetched? Okay? And if it's not actual, let's say, okay, everybody's like, well, you can't prove it. If you can't prove we're not, living in a, You can't prove we're living in a simulation. And, but Nick at the University of Oxford says 50-50 chance. It's not actually possible to prove that we're not living in one. I mean, come on, Right. You can't prove it one way or the other. Okay? If you're trying to prove you're not going to get proof that we're not in a simulation, because any evidence we get is probably simulated. Boy, that's a tongue twister. We're not going to get any evidence that we're 50-50 either way. Because, I mean, come on. We've all had those close calls, those near-death experiences, those things that we just can't explain, that I've been in places. I mean, come on. I've been in places that I shouldn't have been. I've been in car wrecks. I've been in fights. I've been in places that I really shouldn't have walked away from. Okay? There's no logical explanation. Oh, everybody's, the Lord's looking out for you. Maybe the Lord is that kid with the science project that, everything that every time, right, technically speaking. Okay, all the times that I've been, like I said, it's a close call. I shouldn't have lived here. I shouldn't have lived there. Maybe it was like the Men in Black thing. Okay, you really did die with that car wreck. But, by simulator guys like, oh, he's got another life, boop, and all of a sudden I'm up and running again. I've had cars drive through my house. Okay, I've fallen 3-4 stories. I've been in car wrecks that barrel roll. I am a recovering addict. I flirted more than once. So maybe that's, the kid again. What about ghost and deja vu? Are those just glitches and ripples? Yeah, exactly. I mean, technically speaking, we're just learning AI and such, and artificial intelligence. So, we're just starting to thrive in our Sim City environment. Yeah, maybe those close calls, maybe all those stuff, and that deja vu and all that's just the science project. Like I said, you can't prove it. You cannot prove it. Makes sense. It's just as any other theory. The more I read, the Mandela Effect. Okay. What do you mean? On the day I was born, bom, 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 the nurses gathered round, they gazed at wonder, at the joy they found, I heard the nurse speak up, she said, this one alone, you could tell right away, bom, 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 I was bad to the bone, bom, 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 bad to the bone, bom, 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 bom. A big shout out to George Thorogood. Happy birthday, who turned 75 today. George helped populated the older songs, like what he did, Move On Over was a Hank Williams song. Who Do You Love was a Bo Diddley song. Moving On Over, yeah. I remember how much better his first 2-3 albums were better when he was the George Thorogood, the Delaware Destroyers, much better. I saw him right about, it was right after the second album came out, the Moving On Over album. They were promoting that album. He was in the it was 1982. It was 1982 in Missoula, Montana at the UC Ballroom. George Thorogood was playing there. Probably one of the best concerts I've ever seen. It was just, it was his second album. Okay, it was only his second album. He's just getting his start. The ballroom holds, 2,500, 3,000 people, maybe? Okay, we helped clean it out and everything, got free tickets to go. It was great. We were right up in front and having a blast. We were drinking blackberry brandy that night. We're not as drunk as we think we are. Well, if you're saying that, then you probably are. Yeah, he was knighting us, inviting people on the stage. Like I said, this is 82. Moving on over and come out in 1982. So that's his second album. He's not even big enough to play in the field house. He's playing in the ballroom on the third floor of the UC Center. Yeah, great concert. He's knighting us with his guitar and stuff. Barrel, 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 barrel. One bourbon barrel, one scotch barrel, one beer barrel, do. Yeah, he's, like I said, I think his first three albums were the best because after that, that's when he did, Bad to the Bone and all the Maverick albums started getting more commercial and later in the 80s. His first album came out, throw it up there, 79. That ain't right. There it is, 79, 80. British, American release. 1980. And Bad to the Bone was 81, late 81. So when we seen him in 82 in Missoula, the Bad to the Bone album hadn't even been out a year yet. Or the Moving On Over album, second album. So yeah, it was a great concert. The crowd just packed. And like I said, you had people, you had the saxophone player, I don't remember who it was, all the big hits, and it was more of a boogie-woogie, rock and roll, old blues, rhythm and blues kind of story with George. So, yeah, it was kick-ass indeed. Really glad that the computer simulated guy, that whoever was running the program guy, got to watch that. Yeah. A few nights before, we got in a car wreck, and then miraculously everybody walked away, so he reset everybody. Okay, and then we got to go see George Thorogood, promoting his second album. So great. So how do you get a hold of your computer simulating guy? Windows XP. All right. Remember, are we good? Windows XP, I have a copy of Computer at home in my office, which has a tower with XP on it, so I can play some of the games that I just talked about, because I haven't given up on my civilizations either. All right. Remember to spay and neuter. Adopt, don't shop. Foster, rescue, volunteer, and hey. Adopt a shelter pet today. Andy, we're done. Till next week, enjoy your simulation. We are out of here.